Hello everyone, this is Cindy again, and I want to continue with the tag ideas. So let's just get right to it. We'll start with number 6. And if you watched the earlier video, you know that I said I had kind of gotten into a rut about tag ideas and couldn't remember or just didn't like anything I'd already had made up. So I just kind of wanted to revisit some basic tag ideas. And this is one of the most basic ones. It is 2 pieces of scrapbook paper backed onto each other, and then I just zigzagged around it. And of course you can vary it up with different papers, different stitches, but this is pretty basic and it could stand alone because the stitching gives it some design. Or of course you can put some sort of decoration down in the corner or at the top, wherever. So I'm calling this number 6. It's just a very basic one. Number 7. It's a little bit different, of course. It's here's the one I made up a sample a long time ago. It is a piece of cardstock or scrapbooking paper, but if you'll notice, I use the 2 words interchangeably. Scrapbook paper, cardstock. I'm not even really sure what the difference is, other than to me cardstock is thicker, and I guess maybe it's a solid color. But anyway, so if you hear me call it the wrong thing, you know I'm just kind of challenged that way. But anyway, this is just some paper. I used a background stamp on it, and then I just wrapped some embroidery floss around it and secured it with washi tape. So it kind of gives it a different look, and it's pretty simple. So let's do that real quick. So, and here's one I made and on this one, if you notice, I used the decal scissors around it, and this one I didn't. And I think it's better if you use the decal scissors, because when you're cutting with the decal scissors, it gives that rough edge and it's a little indentations that kind of helps hold that thread in place. So just take whatever size of cardstock scrapbook paper you need or want, and you don't have to use the decal scissors, it just kind of helps. And just kind of cut it to the size you want and use the scissors around it if you've got them. And then I'm just going to stamp on this. Just a light background. Doesn't have to be real dark. And you don't even have to stamp on it if you don't want. But anyway, I stamped on it, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of washi tape and secure the back. And I can go back later and secure it more secure if I want to. But just to get started, put some washi tape down. And I'm just going to randomly wrap this down the card. You can crisscross if you want, just whatever design you like. And then when you finish off, just another piece of washi tape. And then you can glue it later, or you could staple it if you want. And when you do this, you know, make it pretty tight. Just don't make it real tight or it'll curl in. But there it is. Pretty simple, but yet it gives you lots of visual things to look at. So that's number 7. Number 8 is along the same lines. Sort of. Here's the one sample I made up. It's just some cardstock again, and it's just wrapped with some raffia and put a little decoration on it. So I just took a piece of cardstock and inked around it. And then I don't know if you can still buy this stuff, raffia. I'm sure you can. And it doesn't have to be raffia. It could be anything that you want to wrap around. But I bought some of this in the 80s, I guess, whenever the country theme was real popular in decorating. And I still have a whole bunch of it. I'm going to put a piece of washi tape down just to get it started. And I'm just kind of loosely wrapping it around, but fairly tight as well. And then I'm going to attempt to staple it. And I'm holding the stapler so that the pretty side of the staple is on the back. Because on that part, I'm going to put a flower, you know, an embellishment of some sort. Or I just got this little flower that I put on there. That's what I did on the other one. So just take that off. Trim that little piece off. So it's just a little, not a whole lot of work to it, but yet it still has a nice nice look to it. It's not something that took you hours to figure it out. So that one is number 8. I'm keeping my, I have used up all these old envelopes, keeping my ideas in them just so I can be a little bit more organized, and you don't have to, we don't have to waste time with me cutting cardstock and doing all that, inking up and things like that. All right, number 8. I got this idea out of the Papercraft magazine, which I mentioned last time. I don't even think is in print anymore. Basically, it's just an accordion fold of a tag shape. And the concept is you would glue this like in your journal, and then this could be held down, and then you pull it out and write on it. And if you remember in the other video, we put a piece of jute underneath the accordion one we did, pocket we did, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So it can be tied closed when it's not in use. Or actually, you could use a paper clip as well. So anyway, you could, you know, spend some time measuring out where your 3 folds need to be and dividing up your paper, but I'll show you the way I do it. This is a piece of cardstock that's 6 by 12. It could be any size, I'm pretty sure, because it the way I'm going to fold it, it doesn't really matter what the size is. But this one is 6 by 12, and I'm just going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to take this one side, just the one, and fold it back towards the fold. Increase that. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on this side. Take the one flap and take it back to the fold. And then you've got your accordion shape. And of course you can cut out any shape you want, but I'm just going to make it into a tag shape. So I'm going to cut off the ears, or whatever you want to call it, of the tag. And there we have an accordion shaped tag book, whatever you want to call it. And of course it can be inked up and decorated up however you want. So that's number, was that number 9? Okay, that's number 9. And then number 10 is so simple, it's really a shame to even mention it, but it's still a very pretty look. It is just a piece of scrapbook paper or cardstock with some lace glued on it. It can either be on the bottom or on the top, depending on the direction of your cardstock. So, very simple. Get some lace, get some paper, and glue them on. Glue them together, rather. But it just kind of dresses up a little piece of some leftover cardstock. And then I'm just going to trim this. These aren't the scissors to trim. Those scissors are great for cutting paper, like I said, but not for cutting fabric. So anyway, that's just a simple little look, but a very effective one as well. So let's put that one there. Okay, let's do one more. I'm trying to keep this video not very long because it takes forever to upload it on with my internet service. This one's kind of a strange idea. I'm calling it tags on a fold, kind of like the accordion one we just did. Of course, you know, this one, if you wanted to, it could just be two pieces instead of 4. I was looking at my stamps and I thought, is there anything I could put on a fold and make like a little booklet out of it? Or not really a booklet, a folded tag. And when I did a sample, I put it on this, I think it was an envelope, one of those, you know, business envelopes. I just did it here on the fold, and it gave me some extra pages. But the best thing I really had was this luggage stamp, and I did it here. Just, you know, just when I did the stamping, I didn't do it on the full piece of paper. I moved it over so it would be on the fold. And I tried doing it that way. Then I tried just stamping it and then folding it, but that didn't work out so well because it's not really symmetrical on both sides. So, but I thought that's not too bad for just a little something to tuck into a pocket. So let me show you how I did it. I just inked up my stamp. I folded a piece of index paper, index card rather, and then just tried to get as much of the tag on it as possible, but yet part of this stamp, I said the tag, get as much of the stamp on there as possible. But if you'll see, I've got part of the stamp is over the fold. So that looks pretty good. So what I just did is I took my scissors and just kind of cut around the tag. And of course I can go back and ink up these edges later. And that just made it a little folding tag that I can just tuck into a little spot. So anyway, that's not, it's okay. You might have better stamps that it work with, so just look through your stamps. But I got this idea because I know you guys remember when we were in elementary school, how you take a folded piece of paper, you know, and everybody made hearts, right? So it's kind of where I started with this idea. So also I had this pattern. I got it in a scrapbooking kit. It's called a coffin book. And I thought, oh, this is great. I just used this not too long ago in the haunted house book I made. And it's already on the fold and it's great. So, and you can make one of these fairly easy. You just got to remember it's not going to be on your paper straight. Like you can't do it that way because then you wouldn't have much here on the fold. You got to put it on your paper kind of wally joppered. So it really can't be a printed paper that's going to have a design going straight up and down because then it would be crooked. So basically you just put this design on here, trace around it with the pencil, and then just cut it out. And of course you would ink it up and you can decorate it up. You could put words or a name or something on there, or beware or whatever, and that makes your little coffin book. So anyway, that's idea number 11. So let's recap if we can real quick. We have folded tags. It could be whatever basic shape, or if you got a stamp or something that would make a little folded tag. And then we've got a more substantial folded tag, which is a bigger piece of paper involved, and it could have 2 or 4 or even 3 folds or more, I guess. We did a basic piece of scrapbook paper. More than likely it's some leftover paper you have, and we just doctored up a little bit with some lace, and of course you could use other embellishments on it as well. And then we have some basic cardstock we had left over again that we wrapped some raffia around. You can wrap ribbon around it or jute or some thin lace, and we put a little flower on it. And of course you can decorate it however you want. And these are basic scrapbook paper left over again that if it was plain cardstock, we used the background stamp on it. And this one I wrapped with some thin jute. And I also backed it with some cardstock. I didn't show that earlier. But these I did not back. So if you didn't want to see the washi tape, or if you had a staple there, if you didn't want to see that, and if you didn't want to try writing between the lines, you could back it with the copy dye paper. And then this one was just a simple design as well. 2 pieces of paper that we've stitched together. And if you guys remember, I had this book I was working on, Anne of Green Gables. So that's why my colors are kind of these muted greens, because I just wanted to make some tags to go in her book. So we might put that one there since it doesn't have any decorations on it. And here is a tuck spot. I got this idea for this tuck spot from Diane H. She had seen it on Pinterest, and of course hers looked much better than mine. But anyway, I just made that pocket. And there was the tags we did last time. I mean the tickets we did last time. And here's a pocket I made out of wallpaper. Let me just slip one of these in there. And let's put one of these somewhere. This is the accordion book we made last time, if you remember, that we tied down with the jute. So I'm saying we could do the same thing with the tag one. We could glue it on the page and then tie it down with the jute if we wanted to. Of course, that blue's not really going to work with this journal. But anyway, I might could put this one here. And we got the lace ones, maybe behind this belly band. So anyway, that's the first 11, the next set of tags, 6 through 11. So I thank you for watching. Goodbye.